Okay, my name is Jeffrey Way, and it sounds like you want to learn PHP. Very cool, let's get into it. Step 1, you gotta have PHP installed, right? Now, here's the thing, there's lots of different ways to do this. So, you might find that you already have it installed. Try this. If you're on a Mac, open the Terminal app, and it may look something like this. Now, alternatively, if you have a bit more experience, you might use a tool called iTerm as well. And generally, throughout the series, yeah, this is exactly what I'm using. But nonetheless, you can do the exact same thing in either. Okay, so we're going to type php-v to figure out which version we have installed. Now, in my case, you can see I already have it. And I have PHP 7, which at the time of this recording, about June 2016, that's the latest release. But yeah, it's possible you might see PHP 5.5 or 5.6, and that should be fine for now. Alternatively, yeah, of course, you can install the latest version using a number of options. One is to use a tool called Homebrew. Now, this is specifically for the Mac, and if you're a Windows user, we'll get to you in just a minute. Now, here's how you do it. Homebrew gives you a nice way to install any number of utilities from the command line. It's really great. So here's what you would do. You can copy this, switch over to Terminal or iTerm, like I noted earlier, and paste that in. Okay, now in my case, once again, Homebrew is already installed, but for you, that'll set you up. Next, you can see that you can install any number of tools using this format. Brew, install, and then the name of the tool. Now, secondly, you could search for tools. So if you don't know the name, you could just say, well, let me find something related to PHP. And here we go. Now notice, this can be a little overwhelming at first, but that's okay. Let's just look for PHP 7. Okay, so really, this is the latest version at the time of this recording. So here's all the various things we could install. Now, these things like mcrypt and memcached, you'll learn all about that stuff at some point, but don't worry about it too much. For now, all we are interested in is right up here, PHP 7.0. All right, so once again, you see I have it installed with that check mark, but you will say brew, install, and then paste that in. And that's it. Brew will take care of the rest for you behind the scenes. So once it's done, try opening up a new tab, and then once again doing php-v, and hopefully you'll see the latest version of PHP. Now, if you hit any hurdles along the way, just ask a question below this very video, and we'll help you out. Now next, you don't have to use Homebrew if you don't want. You could use a tool called MAMP. And you can think of this sort of like an all-in-one tool. It'll give you everything you need to get up and running very quickly. And especially a handful of years ago, this tool was incredibly popular. So that's an option for you. If you're on Windows, well, MAMP works on Windows now. It didn't always, but it does now. But you could also use a tool called WAMP, or there's also one called XAMPP, which works for Windows, Linux, or OS X. And once again, like I said, it's basically a one-click solution to get you up and running. So you are free to choose any tool you want. Now, if you want my advice, if you're on a Mac, stick with Homebrew. It's really easy. If you're on Windows, yeah, really any of these three alternatives will do just fine. So here's your homework for this lesson. Get PHP installed on your machine so that once again, you can open up Terminal or iTerm if you want to research that. And then when you do php-v, you want to see at least PHP 7 in the output. All right, get to it.